What is this thing I found at a thrift store years ago? It's pretty heavy, around 5 inches by 5.5 inches, and possibly made of copper. It's hollow. It looks like a bracelet with a complex series of patterns and concentric circles at both edges. It doesn't have any writings on it, and it looks very old, probably 100+ years old. Any ideas? This massive ornate copper alloy bracelet is a form of currency from the Bamun people of Cameroon from the late 19th to early 20th century. Though often identified as a currency type, it also served as a prestige object available in most instances to elites within Bamun society. What is this cup made out of? Some kind of tempered metal found in Cochabamba, Bolivia around 35 years ago. It was found by a family member on a farm, alongside another nearly identical. I've searched up old cups and chalices, and I haven't really found one matching this one's features. There was a second cup found alongside this one that I unfortunately don't have my hands on for pictures. It's with another family member. Any help is welcome, even if it only points me in the right direction. We would love to know the history of this object. Thanks. It's an antique chimu, or Inca silver kiro. Here's another one from circa 1100 to 1400 AD, listed for $1,800 US. These were ceremonial drinking vessels used to consume chicha, a fermented corn beer, during social and religious gatherings. The ornate ones were used during life and for the afterlife at funerary ceremonies that incorporated intricate religious libations and imbibing rites. Keros were used in Peru for hundreds of years before the Inca came to power. They were made from ceramic, wood, gold, or silver, and often decorated with images of felines, raptors, snakes, and human faces. These were made and used in pairs during Inca times, and continued to be made and used well into the 19th century. The Spaniards did not understand the ritualistic function of keros, and believed the cups might contain secret messages of rebellion within their ornamental designs. The Spaniards sadly destroyed large quantities of keros during the 16th century in an attempt to quell dissent. Nevertheless, some have survived the massive purges. What is this iron loop with a spoon handle-like end? It has a small, narrow portion that looks like perhaps some strap attached. The oddest part is the handle. The end is flared and slightly bent, kind of like the end of a spoon handle. It was found at a late 1800s homestead site. The guy who lived there was a woodworker. I found an old froe blade, so maybe related to woodworking. Or who knows? I had never seen anything quite like it. Do you have any ideas on what this could be? It's an antique half-cheek snaffle from circa 1880 to 1900, also called the half-spoon snaffle. With only the lower spoon, the bit is somewhat safer than the full cheek, in that there is less likelihood of it getting caught up in anything, and it does not require a restraining loop on the bridle. Because of this, the bit is a popular choice in driving, and somewhat in racing. As with any arms, however, there is still a danger of the spoon being caught up in other tack, wire mesh, and the like, so it is important to keep the head of the horse free from possible entanglement. What is this thing consisting of metal and glass vessels, a burner of some kind, and a stand? Approximately 25 centimeters high. I found it at an antiques market in Geelong, Victoria, Australia, with a collection of items largely from before the 1950s, and the seller did not know what it was or the date of manufacture. I was unable to inspect it more closely due to it being in a display cabinet. Any ideas? It's a 1960s siphon coffee maker. Grounds are placed in the goblet carafe, and the flask is filled with water through the inlet at the top. The lid on the alcohol burner is flipped back, held open by the bottom of the flask resting against it. Once the burner is lit, pressure builds inside the flask until the water flows up through the siphon and into the grounds. Once the water has all been expelled from the flask, the counterweight lifts the flask, causing the burner lid to fall and extinguish the flame. At that point, the cooling of the flask creates a vacuum, which sucks the steeped coffee back into the flask, ready to be decanted via the ornate spigot. What is this thing I found in a bag I got at a yard sale full of crafting supplies? It's 8 inches long and the little loops are flexible. The bag it was found in has lots of pens, tape, various paper cutting tools, etc. It's clearly a crafting tool, but I'm not sure exactly what words to look it up. I tried searching stuff like crafting tool with loops and ruler-like crafting tool with loops. I'm a terrible sleuth. Please help, it has been bugging me for a year. It's a Creative Memories Journaltopia writing guide. It helps you to write in a straight line on unlined paper. You can't use a ruler or something solid to do that because it would get in the way of letter descenders. You just write along the top of the loops, and the loops are easily pushed out of the way when writing a letter such as a lowercase y or g. What is this thing that came with other old unrelated parts? I know it looks like a bike lock, but it's definitely not that. It's about 18 inches wide, 24 inches tall, and is very heavy, maybe 30 pounds. The top part is a steel pipe, and the rough-looking art on the bottom is a weight. I think maybe cement inside. I was thinking it was a tractor part, or maybe part of a push bumper for a car, but I don't know why it would need the weight on the front of a car. Can anyone tell me anything about this item? It's the counterweight for a 1970s arch floor lamp. This style of lamp is designed to go behind the corner of a sectional sofa. What is this thing I found in the kitchen aisle in a thrift shop? Around 9 by 19 by 19 centimeters and made entirely of wood. Let me know if you have any idea what this thing is. It's a MacGuffin brand paper napkin holder from the mid-1980s. My mama used to have one for picnics in her apple orchard. It would keep the napkins from blowing away in the misty Atlantic breeze. It was left outside and became warped during a length of rainy days one fall. It broke her heart. I would have loved to have found one. Thanks for the memories. What is this thing that looks to be brass or bronze I found in a 1930s home? I was told it was washed up on a beach. Around 3.5 inches in diameter, with a hexagonal outer and threaded inner, which makes me think it is some type of cap or housing. Any ideas? Please let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.